author of Making It, How Love, Kindness and Community Helped Me Repair My Life, host and presenter of programs including The Repair Shop and No Place Like Home, and recent recipient of an MBE for services to crafts, the wonderful Jay Blades joins us on I Am, I Have. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you. And with an intro like that, that's just really nice. You know, when you're doing an intro and you can tell that someone is smiling while they're actually introducing you, it just makes you feel good. So thank you for making me feel good.
Well, no, thank you for coming on. I'm so chuffed that you were able to talk to us because we've got so much to talk about and you're doing such amazing work with your programs and this great book, which opens a lot of conversations about your own personal experiences, but I think also will encourage other people to talk about how life's challenges have affected them. You are the perfect person for our readers and our listeners to hear from. So can you introduce yourself in your own words and tell our listeners what you think they should know about you?
I'm from Hackney. I'm a mentor and a community worker. I have the belief that anybody can be repaired or anything can be repaired. And also I have dyslexia.
Those are the I ams that we're going to talk about. And people will know you from TV predominantly, won't they? The Repair Shop, which has just started again, and your fantastic program, No Place Like Home. You are obviously so passionate about your subjects, both repairing and also really delving into the history and how that shaped you as a person.
I think for me, the Repair Shop is one of those shows that I need to continue, in the sense of it's a community that we have nothing but love for all of us that are in the barn, first and foremost. And then the people that bring the items in, we have a duty of care to actually repair their items and to restore those memories that they have, because memories are really important. And for me, good or bad memories are important, because the bad memories will explain to you, all right, I don't want to go back there again. And you would do everything you can't to get back to that same place that you was. But good memories, what they actually do is allow you to get more of them. So in a Repair Shop, that's what we do. And with the Hackney No Place Like Home show, oh, cool, blimey. I believe that no one would be able to tell me anything different about Hackney, and how wrong was I. When my production team or the development team asked me to do it, first of all, I was just like, I don't want to go back there because I know it all. And they said, no, you don't. And every day I was filming it, I looked like I had egg on my face because they proved me wrong. At every corner I took, it was just like, wow, I didn't know that. And I didn't know that. And I didn't know that. It's unbelievable.
I think it will encourage other people to kind of go back and look at where they grew up and find out more, which is beautiful because it just opens up this whole treasure chest of memories, doesn't it?
It is unbelievable. I love doing things that allow me to go back in time, whether that is with a Repair Shop or No Place Like Home. You can have these memories, and I mean, they're very vivid. It's like I could close my eyes and I can be right back there as a child, picking the blackberries, eating plums, peaches and pears. It's just like, wow, and having so much fun with my friends. So for me, I would always like to do shows that inspire people, either inspire them to sit down with the family or inspire them to look back in time and see the times that we had that were really great. And then let's try and recreate those in our present and our future.
Well, you do exactly that. And when you talk about going back in time,
Yeah.
that's where we're going to start with your first I am, because you
Yeah.
say, I am from Hackney. Tell us
Yeah.
about being from Hackney, what that means to you and how that shaped you.
Being from Hackney was all about community. And I didn't realize it until you come away from a community. And it's quite hard to actually live without a community. And I'm talking whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, everybody needs someone around them. And I classified that as your community. And how Hackney has shaped me, it's made me want to do what they did for me. So the way that I've been shaped, the way that I have been cared for, looked after, and actually allowed to grow, that's what I want to create in the future. So that's how it shaped me. And Hackney has had a massive influence on me. Over the years, I didn't realize it, but going back there and then also just doing all my community work, I kind of realized, yes, that's why it is. It's because of Hackney.
Community is a word that you use a lot, and you've created different communities as you've moved through your life. Obviously now you're doing television presenting, but you've worked with lots of charities and helped people to find their own community, and other people have given you a community when things have been tough for you.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the way that that shaped me and the reason why I've done it, and I didn't do it very consciously, I did it on a very naive basis. I go into different environments and just believe that I should be there. And then I get and gain an experience that I never knew I needed to develop me as a person. It's almost as if, imagine you lived in a room and there are 4 windows and you're only looking out of one window. You're just going to have a very narrow view. But if you turned left and you looked out of the left-hand side window, you're going to have a completely different view. And then you look outside of the right window. And that's all I've done. I've looked at every window, which is an opportunity for me to just enjoy it and not know that I'm going to enjoy it. But all of the layers that have been added to me, so all of the layers of the different windows I've looked through, they've created this person that you're speaking to today.
That's a lovely vision. And I can really picture that idea of looking through all the windows, because sometimes it's so easy to be stuck looking at a wall, especially if you're going through mental health challenges.
It's called our kind of comfort zone. So if there's a place that allows you to stay in that particular spot, I don't really like to do that. I've done it once in my life, and I'm very fortunate that I'm able to be here today. But if I was to succeed continually looking through that window, I wouldn't be speaking to you now. I wouldn't be on the repair shop. I wouldn't do No Place Like Home. I just wouldn't be living. So at some point in your life, you do have to take on board the support from people or show your vulnerability. And showing your vulnerability means that you ask for help. Simple as that. That's all it is. And someone like me coming from Hackney is probably a really hard thing to do, or was a hard thing, but I don't do that anymore. I always ask for help.
That's wonderful. And you give help as well. You give a lot of help, which is your next I am, because you say, I'm a mentor. Tell us about being a mentor and what that brings to you and what you see when you're mentoring.
Being a mentor for me is like I classify myself as a community worker, a glorified community worker that they put on TV. So they've just put me in front of the camera. And my role is to influence people I'm never going to meet. So when you're doing community work, you might be speaking to a young person and trying to get them on the straight and narrow. If they're able to do it, then they will motivate someone that I'm not in contact with, one of their friends and so forth. The easiest way to explain it, I like explaining it in diagrams or things that people can visualize.
I love that.
Imagine I'm a pebble and there is a pond or there's a lake, and you throw this pebble into the middle of the pond. And what it does, it sends out the ripples. So the ripples are all of the people that I come into contact with. And then what then happens, it gets to the shore, and sometimes the ripples come back to the original source. So all of the young people I've mentored over the years, some of them have come back to the original source and asked me to help them set up a charity or set up certain things that they're doing. One of the biggest ones is a lady called Leanne from a group called Little Mix, who I mentored. And now I'm a trustee on a charity called the Black Fund. And we give out money to organizations that are supporting the diverse community and they might not be eligible to obtain funding. So that's what mentoring does. You're just sending out these ripples and you won't necessarily see a change straight away. It might take 10, 15, 20 years, but the change will come.
That's fantastic. And also the ripples that you send out start another ripple effect, don't they? So that person will then continue to mentor someone else and they will create their own ripples. And that's how we do good, isn't it?
Yes. And we should all be doing good. I don't think it's a thing where it's only for the chosen few. Doing good could be volunteering at a local church, could be volunteering anywhere. You never know who you're going to come into contact with, what impact you're going to have on that person. Let's say, for instance, if you're a man and you're volunteering at a place, there could be someone there that doesn't have a father, and you could become that role model for them. So really and truly, we all need to give back. Anybody who doesn't give back, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really want to know you, because you've got to a position in this world where you should recognize that you are part of a massive community and you should be giving back. Sorry, that's me coming off my soapbox now. I won't bang on about it.
You are very welcome to stay on your soapbox. I'm loving your soapbox. And the next I am we have is a really beautiful one and speaks to the repair shop, but also your take on life in general, which is I am of the belief that we can mend people and things and bring them back to glory. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
So when I started in charity work, I think it was a case of there's a lot of stereotypes around that some young people they believe are a waste of space. They might put them in a pupil referral unit or whatever. They kind of give up on these people. And I don't like to give up on people or things. I believe everything can be repaired. And it might take a little while to repair something. I know on the repair shop, we normally do it in 15 minutes, but the real world, it can take anything between a day to 6 months to repair an item. If you're repairing somebody, it could take their whole life. So I needed repairing at 45, and I'm still repairing myself. I'm still looking around to actually make sure that I input into my mental health, stay strong physically and stay strong mentally. But how I do that is with the support of other people. So people making sure that I eat right, I sleep enough, and so on and so forth. And I listen to those people because I am vulnerable. I am not as strong as I believe I used to be. That's basically what it is. You need to be repaired, and no one, it's easy for people to say, well, I can repair myself. But the reality is we need people to help us repair us. Because if you fall down again, who are you going to speak to? You can't really speak to yourself if you're in a dark place. So you need that community to repair you.
And your community that helps you with your mental health and well-being, what does that look like for you? Is that the people you come into contact with every day? Do you turn to specific types of therapy or perhaps physical activity to really build that strength and that mindset? Because you seem to have a very positive growth mindset from everything we've talked about.
I think that for me, I'm quite strange. I've had therapy when I fell down 7 years ago. I had 3 different therapists. I had one that I would meet physically, and then 2 I met over the phone, and we would speak and I would talk to them. But now what I've realized is there's kind of like some self-help I give myself in the sense that when I speak to people, when I meet people, or just walking past people, everything I think is a sign. Everything is something for me to see. I'm there for a particular reason, and I take on board. When you ever see me go into an environment, I look around a lot because there's something in there for me to see. I just don't know what it is. But once I see it, it's like, wow, okay, that's related to this, or that color makes me feel comfortable, or that smell is really comforting and it reminds me of like back home when I'm eating some food or something. So I take in a lot. I don't think that would work for everybody, but for me, the people that are around me are everybody. Flowers, cars, you name it, the whole shebang. If there's a car that's from the 1970s or 80s that I've seen, it will just spark up that memory. So that is something that allows me to then smile. And I might not have smiled throughout that day, but that car being there, it's like, there you go, I'll give you a sign. So there are loads of signs around, and sometimes all you've got to do is pick your head up and just look and see what it is.
That's beautiful. And I can imagine working on the repair shop or even doing No Place Like Home and writing your book. You must have had a kind of plethora of signs and memories that have all come back. And you're in a really busy period at the moment, aren't you? With the book coming out in paperback, the repair shop back, No Place Like Home. Are you full of energy right now for continuing your work?
I was speaking to a young person the other day, and she's 28 years old. And she said to me that, oh, I feel like I'm in my midlife crisis. And I said, you're only 28. You've still got a label on you. I could take you back and get a refund. I said, I'm 52 years old. And the thirst and the hunger I have for life right now, I feel like I'm 17, 18 years old. And it's because I'm in a place where I hit rock bottom. And I'm not saying that everybody should go out there and do this, but for me, it's actually what gave me life again. To hit rock bottom, to see that you're not existing in tomorrow is like a really dark place to be in. And then when you come out of it, you're so hungry and grateful for life. I was saying to a friend of mine, I was saying, I think I've got a bit of a problem. I keep on waking up before my alarm goes off. I said, well, what time's your alarm going off? I said, it goes off at 6 o'clock. What time are you getting up? I said, about 5:30. And what they said to me was, the reason why you're getting up is you're really excited about what the day has in store for you. So it's a bit like a kid with Christmas time, and they know they're going to get their presents. They hardly ever sleep, and they just get up in the morning before everybody. It's like that for me every day, whether it's the repair shop, the book, No Place Like Home. There is so many things happening at the moment in time. My energy levels are insane. Even I can't believe how good it is. But I feel like I'm 17, 18, but I'm just in a 52-year-old's body. That's all.
That's wonderful to hear. I have dyslexia. And I wondered if you could share that and talk about that, how you manage that, and also how you found out that you had dyslexia, because it was fairly late in life, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was about 30, 31 years old when I found out I had dyslexia. I was going to university and I decided to study criminology and philosophy. not knowing that those two subjects are probably the most text-heavy subjects you're ever going to study, apart from being a lawyer or doctor. And I was struggling with reading, really, really struggling. And my ex-wife at the time said to me, like, oh, we're going to get you tested at the accessibility center at the university. I went in there. I think I went in on a Wednesday. I was being tested on a Monday. And by the Thursday, I had my results back. And they basically stated I had the reading ability of an 11-year-old. So they supported me by giving me some software, a computer, a scanner, so I could get the book scanned into the computer. They would read them back to me, and then I could talk to the computer and it would type whatever I was saying. And also in exams, they gave me a scribe, so someone who would read the questions to me, and then I could verbalize the answer and they'll write them down. So fortunate for me, I got that done in the first year, and then I was able to leave university with a 2-1. But my dyslexia still wasn't solved. So I recently done a documentary where I started to learn to read, but starting to learn to read at 51, it's moved on from A, B, C, D. It's gone to phonics now. So that's a real struggle. And I think dyslexia for me has been my superpower. It's been something that I've not necessarily shied away from, but been able to adapt in any different environment that I'm in. And I think us as humans, we're really grateful that we can speak and communicate to each other. So we don't really need to rely on technology. I know a lot of people are doing that now, but the reality is when you speak to someone, that's more impactful than sending an email, than sending a text. When you can actually talk and smile and see their reactions, hold their hand, give them a hug, that's a lot more powerful. So I've been really gifted to be able to speak to people. That's what my superpower is, being dyslexic.
And being able to relate to people, which you have to do on a regular basis in your job, and also to hear and understand what people are saying and what something means to them. Again, going back to the repair shop, a lot of what you do has a lot of emotional attachment to it. And that's not the kind of thing you can convey on an email or in a written note. It's about seeing someone and hearing and digesting and helping.
Yeah, well, something like the repair shop fits beautifully to my dyslexia. So what they normally do is they send you a 1-pager, which is not a 1-pager. It's normally like 3 or 4 pages, which talks about the item. It talks about the person's history and so on and so forth. I've never read those things. They're just not for me. So what they do for me at the repair shop is basically about 2 minutes before someone's coming in, they tell me their name and sometimes the item that they're bringing in, but normally it's just their name. And as soon as they come in, I've got to make that person feel at ease, because there's probably 4 million people watching the show. There are 6 cameras. Then you're seeing all of the people that you see on TV right in front of you. 1, I've got to put them at ease. And 2, I've got to have a conversation with them and find out what the item is and what's the history behind it. And I find it's a lot easier to do that when you know nothing about the person. So then you're just having a human to human communication. I would say, I'm not going to be big-headed, but it's going to sound that way. I would say 99.9% of the time, it works beautifully. There's only that minuscule amount that it doesn't.
It really does. And we all get the benefits of that, as well as the joy and the tears. We've come to the end of your I ams and your I have. So I'm going to ask you our final question, which is, if you could meet Jay from 10 years in the future, and you were going to sit side by side on a bench and you were going to have a conversation, what do you hope he would say to you about 10 years from now and how you're doing?
I wouldn't hope. What I would say is, well done. Because what I'm about to achieve, I think there's a reason for me being on this planet, and there's a reason for everybody being on the planet. You just need to find it. And once you've found it, you know what your calling is. So with what I'm destined to do in the future, I'm going to do in the future, I will sit next to myself 10 years from now and say, well done. You've done it. You actually influence people you're never going to meet. You made a change for people who don't exist just yet. And you still are healthy in your mind and your body. So I'd say, well done. That's what I'm going to say to myself.
Beautiful, and a gorgeous place to end. Jay, I'm smiling because this has been a lovely conversation. I'm so grateful. I know how busy you've been this week. So thank you so much for coming on to Happiful. And for everybody who's listening, Jay's book is Making It: How Love, Kindness and Community Help Me Repair My Life. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you for having me. I'll be back again. Don't worry. 10 years from now, I'll be back again.
Right? We'll do a reunion.
Yeah, we'll do a reunion. Watch out, because I'm going to do some bits. I'm doing a few bits. Watch out.